This, you might not believe me, is the outline of a person. If I waited until my public writing is perfected, I would not have run a single workshop. But as it is, I've done about 15 countries. That's fine by me. Every time I do a flip side, not every time, I go, yeah, I can take a bit more time with them. Maybe, write a bit more carefully, write slower. So that's something for me to work on. But I'm working on it while I'm doing it. I'm not waiting till they're perfect and then go out and do them. Now, in your brain, you would already know this, those of you that do the preparatory stuff. You have a little thing. I only found out this week that the reason it's called the amygdala, which is like an almond-shaped organ in your body, is because the Greek word for almond is amygdala. There we go. So you have an amygdala. If you are, I think most of you would have one. And the amygdala, if you want, it's almost like your body's, it's almost like not ground control. It's like the security office in a building. Okay, all the CCTV cameras are there, comes into there, all the security guards report into there, and the commander-in-chief, he or she, is the amygdala going, yeah, that's fine. Hey, what's going on there? We need to go pay. It looks like somebody's breaking into that car. Go check out what's going on. Hey, whoa. There's a flood coming. We need to start panicking. All that stuff. That's what the amygdala does. It gets all the information in and decides whether this is, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, he's looking at me. She's looking at me. He's asking me this. I'm walking down the street. Everything's fine. Or, hey, whoa, red flag alert. So it's good that we have that, do you think? So that you know when you're going to be in danger. Here's the problem with the amygdala. That sometimes it distorts information based on what happened in the past. Because if 10 years ago, somebody that spoke like me, or maybe looked like me, or wear these clothes, or did something in a course that really hurt you, offended you, upset you, violated you in some way, and you haven't completely processed that, then you might be sitting there, even though I think I'm talking in quite a calm voice, you might be thinking, why is he yelling at me? Why is he so aggressive? So in that case, the other 5 people might not share that because their amygdala interpreted information as, no, that's just Benny being Benny, especially those of you that know me. That's just him being him. That's how he is. That's fine. Unresolved trauma, drama, all that stuff, the amygdala uses that as filters. And when any information comes its way that looks even remotely like other information that led to pain, we'll go, excuse me, red flag. And sometimes it could be as subtle as somebody wearing perfume of the last partner that cheated on you. You might not even consciously know why you just actively hate them. You haven't even met them. I just hate her. Just look at her. She's so her. Yes, okay. That type of stuff that we can chuckle about. Very often limbic brain that kind of goes, hey, red alert, even if we don't know why. Now and then you have another part here. It doesn't look anything like the dot, and it doesn't sit in these places either. Hypothalamus in the body is like the internal chemist. And its job is to send signals to different parts of the body to produce chemicals. Is she okay? Thank you. To produce chemicals in a way that result in emotions, feelings. So the hypothalamus, when the amygdala goes, here's some information, red flag, danger coming, time to start freaking out, but you don't know anything about it yet because you're just being you. It will tell the hypothalamus, excuse me, can you please do your job and get some chemicals mixed that produces the feeling of panic. And it will, amongst other things, go down to the adrenals and go, please start pumping adrenaline and cortisol, and that stuff will start pumping through the body, and the next thing you know, you go from totally fine to panicking. It could be as the minute you realize you're just having a nice hot bath with music and candles, and suddenly you remember that presentation you have to do on Friday. You get it? Because the amygdala regards this as a dangerous thing because the last time you did it, you ended up being ashamed and embarrassed for weeks or months or years, or ridiculed, or got sacked, or not promoted, or everybody, whatever. So in the end, it's all about chemicals. Our emotional states are all governed by chemicals. In fact, I'll say that differently. Your emotional state is chemicals. It's chemicals mixed in a different way. They're either mixed in the ratio for happiness, or distraught, or despair, or rage, or depression, or whatever it is. Hey? Exactly. Now this is a part of your physiology, part of your brain called the limbic brain. what most people want to do with presentation skills and other things that you have limbic brain responses to, they want to use the frontal cortex part of the brain to talk themselves out of it. That's what I mean. It's the best thing that some of us know how to do. It'll be fine. Oh, just imagine them all naked. They love you. You're an amazing presenter. You have so much to share, as if that's supposed to make you feel better. You know, it says in your manual, never in the history of calming down has anybody ever calmed down by being told to calm down. Why? Because that's speaking to the frontal cortex part of the brain, and the limbic brain couldn't care less. It's like Gerald said to me last night when we went to Officeworks to buy some stuff, and you know, in the checkout counters, they have all these sweets and stuff, and I'm just like, right now, I'm a non-sweet person. And he says, you walk past them as if they don't exist. Oh, yeah, because they don't, right? Not interested. Limbic brain, frontal cortex, very different parts of the brain. So trying to talk yourself into you'll be fine is very unlikely to work. Here is what is more likely to happen, and some of you are already nodding your heads because you know how this works. I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. Positive affirmations, positive affirmations, positive affirmations. Imagine yourself being brilliant. Yes, 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 I'm amazing, I'm amazing. You stand at the back of the room, you hear your name being announced. All that just dissipates. And all you start feeling is this panic you've been trying to ignore since yesterday, and the dry mouth, and the sweaty palms, and the red in the neck, and the stomach churning, and wanting to throw up. And then you come up here, and now your limbic brain is in overdrive. And when your limbic brain is in overdrive, your body goes into fight, flight, or freeze mode. Some of you, this is very familiar territory. And when your body goes into that response driven by the limbic brain, what happens to the blood that your brain needs to function? What happens to that? It goes, why? Because it thinks I either need to get the blood in here to run away or to protect myself to fight. And when your blood flows out of your brain and it can't function properly, how are you doing with that thing you memorized until 4 o'clock this morning? What happens to that? And when you get a challenging question from the audience, or somebody just looks at you the way your mother used to look at you, freeze up, right? You do not have now the mental abilities and capability to deal with the situation. Normally, you would just deal with without even having to think about it. Now, you know this thing about writing an exam and blacking out? That's panic. That's all it is. It's the freeze response. And then they walk out the examination room and go, oh, everything comes back. Why? Because the threat is gone. The limbic system goes into, okay, chill everybody. Blood comes back. Brain can start working. And or I wish I'd answered the question that way. Why didn't I think of that in the moment? Why? Because your limbic brain got activated. Or just because you're human and you don't think of everything every nanosecond. So some of you I know are also familiar with what we're going to do about this. Pretty soon there's a little self-exploration exercise that's in your manuals, and it's going to help you identify very quickly, for most of you, what your fear of public speaking, if you still have it, is really about. And for probably 6 out of 6 of you, it would have nothing to do with public speaking. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go find memories. You don't have to go work it out, because if you could have worked it out, you wouldn't have been here. You would have worked it out a long time ago, or in therapy, or somewhere else. You just need to fill out the questions, and then we'll just see where that leads us. And then as soon as that's done, we can actually do some EFT tapping stuff that is designed to specifically rebalance the energy system, the amygdala, chill the amygdala, and break whatever links it has with public speaking and threat. So that public speaking can become public speaking and threats can become threats. And the connection between the two is gone. Now, for some of you, it'll be 10 minutes, it'll be all over. Some of you will still be tapping next week. That's just called life.